The emergency alarm blared through the hallways of Galactic Unity Academy, its distinctive three-tone pattern signaling a non-drill scenario. Professor Taylor's expression shifted from academic detachment to focused intensity in an instant. Remain calm and follow evacuation protocols, he instructed, watching as his students, representatives from 17 different species across the known universe, reacted with varying degrees of composure. Rix, a tall, four-armed Folian with iridescent skin, stood rigidly by his desk. "Is this part of human cultural studies curriculum?" he asked, voice warbling slightly through his translator. "Negative," Professor Taylor replied, already moving toward the emergency kit mounted on the wall. "This is real. Now move." The Academy, orbiting Earth's moon as a symbol of interspecies cooperation and education, housed nearly 10,000 students from across the galaxy. Most had never experienced Earth's gravity, let alone its approach to emergencies. Lumi, a bioluminescent Aquarian whose body pulsed with nervous blue light, glided toward the exit. "What is the nature of the emergency, Professor?" "My sensors detect no temperature anomalies or pressure variances. Life support systems in sectors 3 through 7 are failing," Taylor explained, breaking the seal on the emergency kit. "Our section is fine for now, but we need to move to the evacuation pods." The class of 22 non-terrestrial students formed an orderly line, following Academy protocol, all except Dex, a stocky, stone-skinned Baldurian, who approached the professor. "I volunteered to assist," Dex's gravelly voice offered. "Baldurians can survive vacuum for short periods." "Appreciated," Taylor nodded, "but unnecessary. Earth emergency response protocols are sufficient." The group moved briskly through the corridors, joining streams of other species heading toward evacuation zones. Overhead, the automated system announced, "Non-critical failure in primary and secondary life support. Tertiary systems engaged. Please proceed to designated evacuation areas." "I don't understand," whispered Nyx, an ethereal Vestin whose gossamer body drifted slightly above the floor. "Why evacuate if tertiary systems are functional? The statistical probability of total failure is less than 0.87%. Professor Taylor, who had been checking his handheld emergency coordinator, glanced back. "On Earth, we have a saying, better safe than sorry." The concept clearly puzzled many of the students, whose home civilizations approached risk with precise mathematical certainty. Human unpredictability remained one of the most challenging concepts for many Academy attendees. As they reached the main evacuation hub, the students witnessed something that would become legendary in Academy circles. Rather than the expected automated response, dozens of human emergency workers in distinctive orange uniforms were coordinating the evacuation with practiced efficiency. They sent actual humans. Rix's translator couldn't quite capture his astonishment. Not drones or AI systems. "Humans prefer the human touch in emergencies," Professor Taylor explained, directing his students toward Pod Bay 7. "It's something about trust and adaptability." The students observed with academic fascination as the human emergency team worked with surprisingly little advanced technology. They communicated through simple radio headsets, used physical touch to guide disoriented aliens, and carried actual paper backup plans. One emergency worker approached their group. "Professor Taylor, we have your class manifest. 23 total, including yourself." "Correct," Taylor confirmed. "All present." The worker nodded, making a mark on a physical checklist attached to a clipboard. Several students stared at this primitive tool with bewilderment. Antiquated recording methods. Lumi observed, her skin pulsing with curious yellow patterns. "Why not neural network confirmation?" "Because clipboards don't crash." The emergency worker smiled, tapping her board. "Welcome to human redundancy." As they were guided to their evacuation pod, Dex noticed something else unexpected. The human workers were smiling, offering reassurances, even making small jokes with nervous Academy residents. "The emotional labor seems inefficient," he noted to Professor Taylor. "Perhaps," Taylor acknowledged, "but humans learned long ago that managing fear is as important as managing the emergency itself." The class boarded their assigned pod, a sleek vessel designed to accommodate multiple species comfortably. As they settled in, the Academy's alert system updated, Life support failure contained. Emergency status downgraded to level 2. Evacuation will continue as planned for affected sectors. Professor Taylor used the moment as an impromptu teaching opportunity. Notice that despite the downgrade, we're still evacuating. This is characteristic of human emergency response. We prepare for worst-case scenarios. It seems wasteful, Nix commented, tendrils of energy flickering thoughtfully. All these resources mobilized for a contained incident. The most successful human emergency responses are those that, in retrospect, appear excessive, Taylor explained. We consider that a victory, not a waste. The evacuation pod detached smoothly from the academy, joining dozens of others heading toward the temporary shelter stations. Through the viewport, students could see human emergency vessels approaching the academy, their red and blue lights pulsing against the backdrop of stars. They're physically going in, Rix asked incredulously. With the potential danger? Always, Taylor said simply. As the pod docked at the shelter station, the class was guided to a large communal area where emergency workers were distributing supplies, arranging accommodations for various biological needs, and providing information updates. One worker approached with thermal blankets, water containers, and nutrition packets compatible with various physiologies. "Everyone doing okay here?" she asked, her genuine concern evident. The students accepted the supplies with murmured thanks, many still processing the cultural data they were witnessing firsthand. Later, after the all-clear signal and their return to the academy, Professor Taylor gathered his class for reflection. "Questions about what you observed today?" Lumi's skin rippled with thoughtful green patterns. "Humans approach emergencies differently than any species I've studied. There's a physicality to it. And an emotionality," added Nix. "Today you witness something fundamental about humanity," Taylor said. "We've survived as a species not just through technology, but through our connection to each other, especially in crisis. Sometimes the most advanced response isn't the most effective one." Dex nodded slowly, his stone features contemplative. "Humans run toward danger while most species calculate retreat. Fascinating." Not always wise, Taylor smiled, but very human, and sometimes that makes all the difference.